about 10:20 Tuesday evening, and just locked up, heading home. And we got a bunch of shit done today. We've been working outside the last couple days, just kind of getting ready for the party and doing some farm shit. And it dawned on me, so we've been taking all this wood and, you know, building these burn piles and just burning it up. And a lot of the wood, a lot of guys don't really pay attention to the bonfire. Like, we draw 500 people that are, you know, like industry people, friends, family, you know, SOE family shit. And then we draw 100 people who we have no fucking clue who they are. They're just there to see the music, or they're there because there's a bonfire, or they're there because they think there's going to be booze there. Whatever it is, they have no fucking interest nor clue about SOE. Won't ever be customers. And a lot of those guys, they'll bring in, you know, their own booze or whatever. We don't have like a fucking bar. So they'll end up with their own booze and drunk and out in the bonfire. So we light this huge fucking bonfire. We spend fucking weeks building it, and everybody watches it when we ignite it, and then that's kind of the end of it. So we're burning up just a shitload of wood, and some of it's decent wood. Like in you know, medieval times, when you see a little fence, you know, we could build a fence like that with a lot of this wood. It's very straight, you know, 2-inch and 3-inch around, you know, poles and shit. So you can take wood chips and, you know, just mix them in with leaves and green matter and shit, and they'll compost down, and basically they become soil. If you go out in the forest and you rake up all the shit, there's all that dirt underneath there, that rich, loamy, you know, good fucking dirt. Well, that came from all that rotted wood and all those leaves and all that matter there, and the worms get in there, and all the microbes and stuff. You know, it's good bacteria, and it's good for the worms, and it breeds that bacteria, and it aerates the roots of whatever's growing there, and it, you know, you can turn shitty dirt into good dirt in, you know, a matter of time. So we thought, okay, well, rather than burn up all this wood, let's take the little wood. We'll still take some of the big wood and have a, you know, a cool bonfire. Hey, motherfucker, you like those bright lights? And we'll have some, you know, we'll still have a good fire. But anything we can get through the wood chipper, let's do that. So before I'd fucked around, I had like a Home Depot or a, you know, Lowe's wood chipper. Very unimpressive. You can put like it says it'll do like a 2-inch or a 3-inch, you know, stick. And kind of it will, but it has to be very, very straight. It was more work cutting the pieces of fucking wood with a chainsaw to get the bow out of them to get it in this fucking thing than it was worth. We chipped up, you know, for 30 minutes. We're like, fuck this. I still have that wood chipper. It's literally useless. Don't waste your time with one of them unless you literally are just taking like little sticks that, you know, your kid would play with and fucking want to wood chip those. You can't do dick with it. So we rented from Service Rentals in Paris, and those guys have been awesome to us. We abuse the shit out of their stuff. Not really abuse it, but we definitely use it hard. Anytime we've broke it, they come right out to us. Anytime we need something dropped off, they literally have it to us. They'll drop us a D4 Cat bulldozer, or D5, and we'll have that motherfucker to us in like 90 minutes. Anytime we've rented, they have been great to us. And granted, we spend a lot of money with them. We always have a couple pieces of equipment from them, almost always. But they've been very good to us. So if you're around here, those guys have been great to deal with, Service Rentals. So they dropped off I don't know what it is. You can see it in our videos. We were shooting Tyler with it and stuff. It says it'll do a 6-inch, and it will. It'll chug along. But even then, it's like it takes some doing. It has taken, you know, 4 or 5 hours to chip up the wood once we have it pre-piled. To get a trailer, we have I want to say it's a 6 by 12 foot trailer. To get a decent load in there, just heaped up to the top, and if we smoothed it out, we could definitely put a lot more. But yesterday and today, we have probably 8 hours combined, so 4 hours each day, with 5 guys. So that's 40 man hours in these 2 trailer loads of wood chips. So my point to this is, what is your time worth? So I'm out there just because I want to be out there. I'm not, counting my time in there. If I sit and prototype if I design something, I bill $250 an hour. And I could do that work all day long. I could do that work every day. I turn that work down. I don't want to have to do anything anymore. That's really what it comes down to. I go to work because I want to go to work. I get in the middle of everything because I want to be in the middle of it and make sure everything's running smooth and just help out and help whoever's doing that job. And it's my business. It's my name on it. And it always has been. It always will be. And I just love doing that. That's why I do it. But if I take a job from somebody to build something custom, number one, we're not building it because I just don't want to build it. That's why we're not already building it. Number two, I have to meet a deadline. I'm terrible about that. I just don't want to do it. When I moved here to Tennessee, I moved here to work in a small building with 3 people and just build shit that I wanted to build and have a garden and not have fucking expensive cars and all kinds of overhead and a fucking new building. That was very spur of the moment when we bought that building. There was no plan to any of that shit. I just moved here to kind of, you could survive here. San Diego was terrible, and I say Camden's kind of like an island between Memphis and Nashville, and if an earthquake happened and all the bridges collapsed and power went out, you could still survive here. There's still fucking dudes here growing shit in the ground, and for the most part the soil's good, and you could live here the way they did 200 years ago. And there's still a lot of those old fucking cabins around here. It's a neat little place. I love it here. But what is your time worth? Back to what I was, so I was out there because I wanted to be out there. But if we had, 40 man hours at anywhere from 8 to, my most expensive paid, my highest paid employee was out there in the midst of all this. And some of my other higher paid employees were out there. So, the reality is we could have bought a whole trailer load someplace of wood chips for $50, $60 a trailer load, topped up with more than we did, more than it took us 40 hours to do. So it just comes down to, what is your time worth when you're doing shit like this? We did this because I wanted to do it. I love equipment. All the dudes love fucking equipment. We wanted to see what this wood chipper would do. When they dropped it off, it was much smaller than I envisioned getting. I didn't know. I picture, the electric company has this tow behind fucking wood chipper, and it's the size of the big huge truck, and then it's towed with the truck, and it shoots all the wood chips into the truck. And then the truck has a dump bed on it. It's enclosed, but it has a dump bed, and the electric company comes out and dumps their wood chips for us on the property. And we've been getting their wood chips. So I thought, well, let's try this. Rather than burn this wood, I just didn't like the idea of fucking wasting all this fucking wood that we could just utilize. And it's just not worth it financially to do it. We've got the wood chipper. We'll go ahead and clean up a bunch more of the trail and the track, and just to the sides where we've run through with the cat and cut all this track with a Caterpillar, the bulldozer. We'll take all that wood and clean it up so it's cleaned up once and for all, and that's really what it comes down to. And some of those poles are real straight. Whoa, there's a shitload of deer. Some of the poles are real straight, so we'll save them just for whatever. And we'll get some more wood chips up there. But financially wise, just what's your time worth is really what this is about. I can change the oil on my car. I can work on cars. I worked as a motorcycle mechanic, out of high school. I can, tear down, any 2-stroke motorcycle for sure. Worked on 4-stroke stuff. It's not my thing. I can do it if I had to. I own old ass Chevy trucks for in case society collapses. You can get parts anywhere. There's very little electronics in those older trucks. I have a 91 Suburban, stuff like that. I've swapped motors out. I've rebuilt motors. It's just not what I do. I can do what I do, and in the time, for if I take my truck in to have the oil changed, they jack it up in the air, they change the oil. If I take it to an oil change place, 15 minutes, they're done with the job. If I do it, it takes me an hour to do the job. So in an hour, how much money can I make, and what does it cost to have the oil changed at a premier place? I make 2.5, 3 times more than what the oil change would cost. I take it to my mechanic, who is not the cheapest mechanic in town, but he is very good, and he does me right, and he takes care of all the Jaeger shit. And when I bought the cars, he bought the diagnostic equipment, and he's worked on most little shit that's happened with the Porsches, and definitely the Range Rover. He takes care of us. He's the one that does all of our oil every 3,000 miles. And I've got fucking 15, 16, 17 cars we take in there. So at any given time, there's almost always some vehicle in there. So we're providing business to him, a lot of it. And, for that, I expect a fast service, and I think that happens. We refer customers and friends and, people that are in town, and my employee cars when they've broken, oftentimes we'll take their cars in, and, they can't afford to fix all that shit. So we'll pay for it, and they just pay it back at $50 a week or whatever. So my point is, he does what he does, and he's very good at it, and I do what I do, and I'm very good at it. So it's really cheaper for me to pay him to do it than to do it myself. Unless you just want the knowledge of it, or if it's just a relaxing thing for you to do, or, if it's just a hobby and you love that, maybe you should reevaluate what it is you're doing and go do what you love doing. And, I don't love doing mechanic shit. At one time I thought that's what I wanted to do. Or find some parallel industry that you can, lateral into that still puts you in that. Like, I want to go to SEMA. Always wanted to go to SEMA. So what can I build to show at SEMA that will get me into SEMA? I mean, I've got friends that go to SEMA and shit. I could go in just on a badge, like we get guys into SHOT Show and shit like that. But, so to go to SEMA, we'll just, put a bunch of SOE product on a SEMA build truck, and, we'll, and somewhat sponsor that vehicle and have our name on the banners. We'll go to SEMA. King of Hammers. I want to race King of Hammers. How do we write that off as a business? Well, we fucking take all our shit and we set up in vendor row, and we fucking placard a car and, sponsor an SOE car. And we go to King of Hammers and we race King of Hammers. We take fucking 10 people out with us, and, take all the fucking trailers and the trucks and the mobile homes and shit to stay in while we're out there. Vendor row's huge. We take out the tool bags. We take out the visor covers. We take the seat back panels. King of Hammers has nothing to do with tactical shit, but every one of them dudes out there, he's got a fucking dick, and he's got a fucking gun, and he's got testosterone. So those are viable fucking customers. So even though it has not, I'm a tactical gear industry guy, sewing industry, but if they made it illegal tomorrow, I would switch and I would make fucking shit for motorcycles and dirt bikes and stuff. And I know I'm going to get a billion dudes asking me to make bags for motorcycles. It's not my thing. Guys don't want to pay the price that it would take for me to do that when there's so much good shit out there. Speaking of motorcycles, if you guys haven't seen Revzilla, revzilla.com, I've bought stuff from them many times. I've bought probably a dozen helmets from them. We've bought all kinds of riding gear from them, and they started doing dirt shit. They didn't used to do dirt and ATV, UTV stuff. Revzilla is fucking awesome because they have a video of almost everything you want to buy, and their spokesperson in the videos does a great job. I don't know if it's still the same guy or not. And they're definitely, like anything else, there are cheaper places to buy from. But I tell you, I bought 4 or 5 Chapter 100 Icon jackets, the black leather with the red, like James has. James got his because he saw mine, and Revzilla was out of them. I think we bought like the last 3 of them they had. And I needed one for Cody's birthday, and I bought that motherfucker at 10, 11 o'clock at night, I think, and had it next day, and it was at my shop by 10 a.m. the next morning. I have no fucking idea how they did it. I don't know where they shipped from. I have no clue how that even happened. We had that thing, ordered it at night, had it the next morning. It was insane. Everything we've ordered, I pay expedited shipping on everything. And being SOE, when I need something in a hurry, I call them and go, do you have this? Can it ship today? How fast can we have it? And I pay whatever price it is they ask for it. A lot of times I'll order a product and I will literally pay more in shipping to get the product. I'm just impatient like that. I bought used motorcycles over new motorcycles because they couldn't get my financing approved, or it was a Mustang I bought. I was, when I was a kid, 91 white GT convertible, and they were waiting to get approval, and I bought a used one instead because they could give it to me right away. Same with a 91 KX 125. And those were the last things, by the way, that I ever financed. Anything else I have, I've paid outright for. I don't have, any vehicle payments or shit. I don't even have a credit card now that I think about it. I'm about to get one just because I need one. When we travel, we exceed their limit for the type of cars we rent and the amount of cars. So they're giving me a hassle about a debit card. Like, I've walked in and literally had enough money in my pocket to buy the car we were going to rent, and they gave us shit about it fucking using a debit card to get the damn car. All right, I'm home. Turn that shit off.